life is so crazy lately. I need to do something more normal for a change.
Ahead of a humanoid there, we can see its eye right here.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
It's this rock here. It's just the shape of it. You can see right back here, it's like perfectly square. The angles on this thing here, doesn't look natural to me.
I see. Well, it is a claim, I guess. I mean, we don't expect Mars to be artificially altered that much. We expect it to be mostly natural, untouched by humans. So, seeing something not natural obviously raises some red flags. Now, of course, I could point out to you that the rock is not actually perfectly square, or that it looks pretty similar to many other rocks who are split through the middle, and that even unnatural-looking squares do on occasion occur naturally, such as here, and here, or here, and here, and, no, maybe not this one.
After enhancing it, this is what I got here.
What have you done to the picture?
Take a look right here. I mean, it's like it looks like there's an opening back here.
No, this doesn't look like a hole. It looks like a few cracks and a shadow.
Something else over here, you can kind of see like there's a face here. Some of these beings have really long noses. The mouth is over here. The eye.
Look, no offense, but to me that face looks far more like a horizontally held middle finger. Are you sure this is not a case of Seriously, YouTube? Alright, let's call it the P word. Yeah, just like the A word for butt cavities and the C word for wet cavities, the D word for people who are into cavities. Now let's have the P word for seeing faces in cavities. So now that we have settled that, let's get back to the topic. Mr. Alien Face Person, are you sure that this is not a case of the P word?
This is Sol 748, Curiosity left mass cam. Just doesn't look natural to me.
Alright, listen. Since you got that image from NASA, why did you feel the need to go through the effort of dragging it through a pixel grinder until it looked like a glorified Minecraft replica with cosmic green complexion artifacts? If you wanted the picture in black and white, you could have just gone to their website, gone to the raw image section like so, then put in your soul number there, and there, and then looked up your picture. Square rock, square, there. And do you see which image incidentally happens to be right before that beige picture you chose? Oh, goodness me! A black and white version! Isn't that amazing?
NASA, they add that fake yellowish color tint on top of all their images, and it just makes everything blend in as part of the environment, but I think this is something else. This doesn't look like a natural rock form.
Now, of course, a person who pays attention to detail could argue that the image you chose has nonetheless been altered and manipulated.
Which would be legit because the mast cam, the camera with which these pictures are taken, is in reality two cameras about 10 inches apart from each other, which are each taking a picture of the same place. And these two pictures then get stitched together either manually or by a program.
However, that is not your argument here. Your argument is that they tinted yellow and thus make awkward looking things blend in or something. Which, aside from the fact that it's not true, and that in order to make something black and white blend in, all you have to do is change the contrast and not the color, can easily be disproven by using their black and white image instead and noticing that the rocks look like black and white rocks.
Not sure what this is exactly. Maybe some kind of a vehicle or...
I see it. A vehicle. Yeah, it totally looks like a square vehicle that aliens totally can drive because aliens totally have like hands and feet like us and maybe not.
There's a lot of strange things in this image here. This almost looks like a head of a humanoid there. We can see its eye right here.
P-word. Yeah, definitely a case of the P-word. I feel better already. The stereotypical standard crazy just makes me feel so sane again. Alright, now let's have a look at the different gem that I found recently.
When I was recording at 99.8%, everything was fine. My camera was working fine. But when I started recording at 100% fullness, which was at 11:44 p.m., everything was going fine at first. I was recording over 11 minutes of footage. But then next thing you know, my phone starts glitching really bad. It starts slowing down, and then it froze.
You know, in spite of my woo-woo meter going off like crazy at that statement, normally I wouldn't quite jump to any conclusions yet. Not even after realizing that your YouTube name, incidentally, is waiting for Jesus Christ. It could, after all, still be a coincidence. And jumping to conclusions is just not sexy. However, this video was posted at the same day on which you also posted this.
They're trying to cover it a little bit. You can see the chemtrails in front. Wow, look at that.
Chemtrails. Yep, that's definitely woo-woo territory. But let's do this one claim after another. So you were recording at...
When I was recording at 99.8%, everything was fine. My camera was working fine.
By which I assume you mean that the moon wasn't completely full yet. Then the moon gets to 100% and your phone suddenly starts to glitch out and freeze. What happened then?
Everything was going fine at first. I was recording over 11 minutes of footage. But then next thing you know, my phone starts glitching really bad. It starts slowing down, and then it froze, and I restarted my phone and I started recording again, and then it froze again. This has never happened, and it's just really, really weird. And then once I restarted the phone again, the file showed up as corrupted.
Spooky. Well, not really. I am no severely trained tech guru, but as someone who lives with a person who randomly starts speaking computer slang at you... Wait, where's my Wi-Fi not working? Logic!
Hey, sorry the internet cut out. I was installing ESXi on the UPS so I can make a virtual machine to install my version of Solaris that I rewrote in COBOL that I rewrote in Java. Might take a bit to debug.
Okay, sounds great, have fun. Hopefully he doesn't make the UPS's battery explode again. Where was I? Oh yes, I am no hyper-tech graduate or something like that, but I do know a thing or two about phones. And they tend to be glitchy an awful lot at the best of times. When they get finicky during a recording, it is usually very likely that they simply have reached their processing power limits, or much more likely even their storage capacity limit. On top of that, if I were to record and the phone crashes or freezes during my recording, I would also not be surprised to later find out that the data of the video that I was about to record would have been corrupted. Think of it like this. If you are writing a poem and someone suddenly just comes along and pulls the paper out of your hand, you could end up with everything being just fine. However, you could also end up with a massive line across the entire poem. It is not a very accurate analogy, but you do get the gist. Either way, glitches happen an awful lot, and while I cannot say what exactly caused your phone to glitch out, I can say with a very high confidence that the moon is probably innocent. I do have to thank you though for posting this video up anyway, because as I was looking through your comment section, I learned something very, very interesting.
Thank you for posting this interesting video. It further proves that Jesus Christ is truly the only solid rock. Yep.
Amazing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Ladies, gents, humans, demons, Jedi, reptoids, dragon and furries. The evidence we all have been waiting for. Phones glitching out when recording moons at 100% prove that Jesus Christ is a rock. Anyway, let us move on to the red moon.
It's July 5th, 2020. I just walked out of my house and check out the moon. It's so red. I'm trying to get a clear picture. Hold on 1 second. I love y'all. God bless. This is amazing. I'm gonna try to get a little closer. Oh, where's it going? Oh, it's going into a chemtrail cloud.
Isn't it beautiful? So beautiful. So red. Now, if you are as illiterate about a red moon as I am, you might not necessarily know that Earth is an utter bully and sometimes places itself between the sun and the moon, allowing only a restricted amount of sunlight to get to the moon. Those instances are called lunar eclipse. The 4th and 5th of July, we had a penumbra lunar eclipse. Penumbra being Latin, pene means nearly, umbra means shadow. It's a fancy way of saying a partial lunar eclipse, and don't ask me why I know this. I will deny everything and claim Google said it. Anyway, the Earth's atmosphere diverts and filters the sun rays, and the red component of the sunlight is what we get to see from the moon. It is moderately rare, as you can imagine, and it is also rather pretty. So if you happen to have the chance at some point to go and see it, I really recommend doing so. Now, the majestic redness of the moon aside, let us talk just a moment about the supposed chemtrails, the ones claimed to be trying to hide the moon. I cannot tell if these are actual contrails of planes flying by or if they're just clouds. It is very hard to tell from the camera footage. However, up to this point, the video was rather harmless. In fact, everything we have seen so far is rather harmless. Believing the moon is fake in and of itself is, yes, wacky, but it has no big impact on people's lives. Believing that there are faces on the moon is also wacky, but it too causes no actual harm. Unfortunately, there is often a point when harmless woo-woo-ness suddenly gets combined with something that does have an impact on people's lives, which happened in the Red Moon video right here.
I've been thinking about the whole mask thing, and I do see where people were coming from in that situation. I decided just to trust in the Lord and pray before I leave my home to protect me against cigarettes and things like that, instead of, trusting in a mask, because I can see why people get so frustrated. But wow, check out that moon.
Whatever you may or may not think of a mask, believing that praying has any effect on your safety can get you in quite some trouble. Especially when we talk about things like medication, hygiene, or in this case, personal protection. Because while it is true that you need a very specific mask to protect you against something like smoke, a mere surgical mask, for example, wouldn't do it, and a cloth mask even less, believing that something like prayer actually keeps you safe makes you more likely than not to go outside during forest fires, harming your lungs. And while I absolutely approve of woo-woo-ness that doesn't harm people, I absolutely disapprove of woo-wooness that does harm people. And that includes every woo-wooness in every corner from every political or religious or otherwise dogmatic sphere that you can possibly find. Did you know that there is cooking woo out there? And there are cooking woo debunk channels.
So if some kids actually make this at home and eat these white strawberries, that's going to poison them.
They are so cookie. Anyways, first person to guess the P word gets pinned to the top of the comment section, and the most creative P words will be read out at the end of the next video. If you dare to participate. Thank you all for watching. If you like my video, give it a like, subscribe, hit the bell. Yeah, hit it. Be violent. It likes it this way. And if you really like what I do, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Also, Hashem, when are you finally invading Canada? I want my free of charge vodka.